Important things to remember on the D-Day, the day of the exam, right? So we'll discuss a bunch of things. Thereabouts a week to go, 15th, like 16th and 17th is IIM Indore and IIM Rohtak exam. So what are the important things that you should be taking care of if you're appearing for the IPMAT exam, right? So make sure you go there on time. What is on time? Previously, we used to suggest be there early enough, but right now it has to be on time because they will send you an SMS or an email telling you you have to be there at 7:30. Somebody else can get an SMS that says you have to be there at 7:45. So they are spreading out people over a period of 2 hours so that they don't have a lot of rush at the same time. So please kindly help the authorities follow the time that is given. So how do you go about it? Right? Plan accordingly. Go to Google Maps, find out where is your exam location. Do you want to book an auto or do you want to book a cab? Do you have a car? Do you have a bike? How are you planning the commute? Or is it outstation so that you have to do it the previous day and then stay there? Plan all of that accordingly beforehand so that you know this is what you are going to do and tentatively this is when you are supposed to reach. So take care of that. It is very vital to be there on time. Like your admit card tells you, carry all the safety precautions, have a mask, have a hand sanitizer, have a transparent water bottle, all the things that are mentioned in the admit card, please follow them. It is very important, right? All of these things are mentioned for a reason, right? You don't want to be sharing water, the same cup with many hundreds of people being there. So remember to follow the rules. It is important. I think they also mentioned that you'll have to carry a simple pen. So any transparent, simple 3 rupee, 5 rupee type pen, not fancy pens with click and screwing and opening, none of that. Go for the simpler version of pen possible so that you can carry them, right? They might suddenly ask you to leave it outside. And one more thing to remember is that your admit card tells you that you need to have your Arogya Setu app installed, right? But we still don't know, will you be provided a place to place your mobile phone if you are carrying it for your Arogya Setu app, right? Better, your admit card has a declaration, self-declaration, where you say, did you have any fever? Did you have any cold? Are you running temperature? All of these things. So you can make sure you check or cross. Right? Remember, don't check everything. The check means you have fever. Cross means you don't have fever. Right? Read the admit card guidelines very carefully and then fill them and take it across so that you don't have a trouble of, okay, I've got in, my parents are out and I don't know, but now I've gone through the security and everything, but now I have my phone with the Arogya Setu app. I don't know where to keep my phone. And somebody tells me that you can keep it there, but we are not responsible. Then you are afraid. Before the exam, don't give in to all of this, right? Use the declaration, simple, go for it. Another thing to remember, at least a week from now, when the exam is going to happen. The exam is going to happen tentatively between 9 and 10:30, I guess, right? Whatever is your exam time, make sure you are super alert, at least for the week before, right? The week running up to the exam and that point of time. What do you mean by that? You can't wake up at 11 o'clock until the day before exam and then expect to be super sharp and going at 9 o'clock the day of the exam. So make sure you plan your schedule ahead for the next week. Make sure you wake up at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock so that you are sharp at 9 o'clock, ready, raging to go during the exam. It looks like a really small thing, but sometimes it helps. It helps not to be groggy and feeling sleepy and drowsy during the exam. So make sure you take advantage of that so that you can plan accordingly. Spend the next 1 week waking up at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, making sure you are occupied, engaged, maybe solving questions, taking a mock, all of that, so that at 9 o'clock you are at your best and not feeling groggy. Another important thing is there's going to be a timer and there are going to be 3 individual sections based on whichever paper that you're taking. Right? Especially for indoor, the timer is going to be 30, which is even smaller than a 40 minute paper. Right? Before you know, you might wonder, I'm only having 3 minutes left in this paper. So 2 things. One is don't overdo looking at the time so that every 15 seconds you're looking at the timer. Don't do that. Right? The other extreme is you never looked at the timer and then suddenly this section goes away and the other section pops up. Right? Don't do either. Have some sense of, at least once in a few minutes, have a look at the timer and gauge where you are. It helps. At least once in 5 minutes, once in 8 minutes, it helps. Knowing, sometimes looking at the timer might increase the pressure, which is why you should take marks and practice looking at the timer so that you don't take in that pressure. right? Followed by the most important thing, right? How do you handle pressure in this exam, right? I can tell you the exam, if it is tough, it's going to be tough for everybody. If it is easy, it's going to be easy for everybody, right? Like CAT, this is also a comparative exam. What do you mean by that? After the results come out, they are going to pick the top 2000, top 5000, top 1000, some number of people for the next round of selection, right? If one section is super tough for you, right, it is going to be the same for everybody else. So you are not alone. It is not that somebody else is getting 99 out of 100 and I am getting 85 out of 100. So I am so far away from that other person. It is not so. If the paper is super tough, everybody is going to be thereabouts of 85 or 90, but not at 99. Remember that. So don't carry in this information of last year about 50% of the paper was a ballpark range for getting an admission. This year, it need not be so. If the paper becomes super tough, maybe 30% of the score will be more than enough. If the paper becomes super easy, maybe 80% of the score of the total score will be enough. We don't know that information for this year's paper. Remember that. Don't go in saying last year 155 out of 300 was the cutoff, so I should answer about 50% of the questions right. Not going to work that way. See what is the best you can do in those 30 minutes, what is the best number of correct answers you can mark in those 30 minutes and make the most out of it. Don't carry mood of one section into the other section. What do you mean by that? If your short answer section was super tough, followed by your VRC section, don't feel drowned or dragged down by the short answer section and feel completely hopeless into the VRC section, right? Sometimes if the section is equally tough for everybody, then a bad score from your point of view might be a score that will cross the cutoff, but you will end up sabotaging your VRC section because you felt bad because of your short answer section. Don't carry mood from one section to the other section. Think of this as 3 separate exams packed back to back. So if one section does not go well, forget about it. Move on to the next session. Maybe look far like a window or somewhere and then look at your monitor. Reset yourself, but make sure whenever you're starting off a section, you're going all guns ablaze, right? Don't feel bad, don't feel groggy, don't feel tired when you're going into a new section. You got to be energetic and pushing your best to whenever you're entering a section, and that really helps, right? Best wishes, guys.